made a brilliant home upgrade that turned out to be a big mistake? Maybe you went all in on a Western Hill Country theme, cowhide rugs, wagon wheel chandeliers, and a full wall of reclaimed wood straight out of an old barn. Or maybe you proudly mounted a collection of exotic deer heads across the living room like your own personal Cabela's showroom. Or how about turning your guest bedroom into a home gym with mirrors, neon lights, and rubber mats for those motivational vibes? Oh, and let's not forget about the open shelving trim. Great in theory, until buyers get a full view of your chaotic Tupperware situation. We've all been there. Some upgrades feel like a win at the time, but they can actually make your home harder to sell and might even lower its value. In today's video, I'm breaking down 12 common home upgrades that seem smart but can backfire in a big way. Stick around to the end and I'll let you know exactly what's worth the money and what to skip, so you can save yourself hundreds and maybe even thousands when it's time to sell. Last weekend, I toured a home with my clients. The layout was great, the yard was perfect, but when we stepped into the kitchen, their faces said it all. We're talking a neon green kitchen island, sparkly countertops, and a backsplash that looked like a disco ball. The house was off their list in minutes. Another time, I listed a gorgeous home, big windows, open floor plan, totally move-in ready. But the living room, fire truck red, and the main wall, a giant hand-painted mural of the owner's dog. Sweet pup, but all the buyers could see was a giant furry face and all the Dalmatian spots. So what's the common trend? It's not bad taste. It's over-personalization. I get it. We all want our homes to feel like us. But buyers might struggle to picture themselves living there if you go overboard with bold designs, super unique color choices, or ultra custom features. When your home is too you, buyers can't see themselves living there. Natural and classic always wins when it's time to sell. I'm all for saving on energy bills, especially here in Texas, where the summer heat doesn't play around. But there's one feature that seems like a smart investment until it comes time to sell. I've seen it more than once. A seller proudly points out their new addition, thinking it's a major bonus. But buyers, they hesitate. Not because of the roof or the insurance, but because of the contract that comes with it. When solar panels are leased, buyers are being asked to step into a long-term agreement with a company they didn't choose on terms they didn't negotiate. And even when the system is paid off, it adds very little value to the home. Sometimes none at all. So if you're thinking about going solar, do it for you. But if resale is on your mind, know that buyers are rarely wowed by panels, and some even see them as a red flag. And if you've already got them, just make sure you fully understand the contract and have everything ready to go when you do decide to sell. Trust goes a long way in a real estate deal, and buyers want to feel confident, not cautious. In Texas, there's nothing quite like diving into a backyard pool when the summer heat hits. For the Klein family, that shimmering blue water was more than a way to cool off. It was a memory maker. They hosted birthday parties, grilled out with neighbors, and even had the occasional midnight swim under the stars. For years, the pool was the centerpiece of their home. So when it came time to sell, they expected it to be a standout feature, something buyers would love just as much as they had. But that's not exactly how things played out. The buyers were interested, sure, but then they brought the pool inspector, and it turns out the heat pump had called it quits, and the underwater lighting system had gone dark. The fix? $8,000 right out of the client's pocket. And while the pool had cost them well over $100,000 to install, it only added about half that to their home's value. What they thought was a big selling point actually became a point of negotiation. Many buyers saw it not as a luxury, but as a liability, something expensive to maintain and easy to overlook. Looking back, the clients wouldn't trade the memories they made, but when it came to resell, the pool didn't pay them back the way they thought it might. So, if a pool is on your wish list, go for it. Just make sure the decision is for you, not for future buyers. Because while the joy is real, the financial return might be a different story. Bigger can feel better, especially when it comes to a master bedroom. The extra space, it's tempting. Maybe you've been dreaming of a sitting area, a walk-in the closet the size of a small boutique, or just some breathing room to stretch out and relax. One of my clients had that same vision. They wanted a retreat, something open and luxurious. So they knocked down a couple of walls and turned two of the smaller bedrooms into one massive suite. And let me tell you, it looked amazing. But when we listed the home, something unexpected started happening. Showing slowed down. Feedback kept circling around to the same thing. It wasn't the finishes or the flow, it was the bedroom count. You see, what was once a 4-bedroom home was now just 3. And families, they need those extra rooms, whether it's for kids, guests, a home office, or even just resell peace of mind. More bedrooms widen your buyer pool and bump up your appraised value. In the end, that dream-worthy primary suite became a hurdle. Most buyers couldn't see past what was missing, and many walked away. So, if you're thinking about combining rooms to create your own little sanctuary, go for it, if it's for you. Just be sure to make it reversible, because when it's time to sell, more bedrooms almost always mean more value and more interested buyers. Remember when everyone was obsessed with shiplap and sliding barn doors? Yeah, we all loved it at the time. But trends, they have a funny way of going out of style real quick. I had a client once who redid their bathroom with this bold pattern tile. It was loud, it was trendy, and it was definitely their style. But when we put the house on the market, almost every buyer mentioned it, and not in a good way. See, what feels fun and fresh can now turn into a deal breaker down the road. So if you're gonna lean into trends, try doing it in ways that you can change easily, like paint, decor, or lighting. That way, when styles shift, and they will, you're not stuck with something buyers can't unsee. Because let's be honest, today's must-have is usually tomorrow's what were they thinking? Backyards can be such a selling point, especially here in Texas. I mean, who doesn't love a beautiful space to grill, relax, and let the kids run wild? But here's where folks sometimes go a little overboard. One homeowner I worked with put in a full outdoor kitchen, grill, sink, fridge, and even a pizza oven. It looked amazing, no doubt about that. But when it came time to sell, buyers saw a whole lot of maintenance and not a whole lot of value. See, the big ticket backyard projects feel like they should add to your home's value, but they usually don't. In fact, the fancier it gets, the more buyers start wondering, how much time and money will it take to maintain it? So if you're thinking about upgrading your yard, just remember, simple and low maintenance is what sells. Not every buyer dreams of entertaining like it's the Food Network show. Sometimes, less is really more, especially when it comes to grass and grill space. New flooring can make a big difference when you're getting ready to sell, but here's where some folks get tripped up. One seller I worked with had worn out carpet in the living room, so they went ahead and replaced it with brand new carpet. And listen, it was clean and soft, but buyers kept asking, how hard would it be to put in wood or vinyl flooring? You see, most buyers today are leaning hard towards surface floors. They want something durable, easy to clean, and allergy-friendly, especially if they've got pets or kids. So, if your carpet is still in decent shape, maybe a good deep clean is all you need. But if you're replacing it, skip the carpet altogether. Go with something that gives you the return and makes a strong first impression. Because fresh is good, but functional is what actually sells. We all want our homes to be efficient, right? Lower bills, less waste, a little peace of mind knowing things are running the way they should. One homeowner I worked with decided to go all in. Brand new HVAC system, high-end appliances with all the bells and whistles, even smart sensors throughout the house. Everything was sleek, top tier, and expensive. But when we listed the home, the buyers barely blinked at any of it. Here's what I've seen time and time again. As long as things are clean, working properly, and well-maintained, that's what most buyers care about. They're usually not willing to pay top dollar for the house just because the fridge talks to your phone. So yes, take care of your systems. Keep them running smooth. But don't feel like you have to spend a fortune to impress. In most cases, function wins over fancy every time. Let's be real, taking care of your home matters. Buyers notice when things are clean and well maintained. But every now and then, a seller will ask me if they should go ahead and replace all the windows, or even put on a brand new roof before listing. Now, if you've priced out either of those lately, you know that's not a small investment. And yes, buyers do like to see big ticket items in good shape. It can help the home feel more move-in ready and ease a few concerns during inspection. But here's the truth. Most of the time, those upgrades won't raise your sell price enough to cover the cost. So unless something is truly at the end of its life, you're often better off focusing on small maintenance tasks and letting the next owner decide how far they want to take it. Because when it comes to major updates, they're not always worth the price tag. The kitchen is one of the first places buyers look, so it's no surprise that buyers often think, should I just go ahead and do a full remodel? It's tempting. Visions of quartz countertops, brand new cabinets, maybe even one of those oversized islands with seating for 6. It's easy to get carried away. I had a client in that exact spot, not sure if he should tear it all out and start fresh or just work with what he had. He ended up repainting the cabinets, switching out the countertops, updating the lighting, and adding new hardware. It cost him less than $5,000. The result? That kitchen looked fresh, modern, and totally move-in ready. And when we listed the home, it sold for over asking. Buyers raved about the kitchen. Here's the point. You don't need a full remodel to impress. Most buyers aren't expecting brand new everything. They're looking for clean, updated, and functional. So keep your kitchen simple and smart. A few thoughtful changes go a long way without blowing your budget. You know those little things around the house you've just learned to live with? The leaky faucet that drips at night, that one door that sticks unless you hip check it just right, or the scuff marks on the wall from backpacks and gaming chairs? They might not bother you anymore, but to a buyer walking through for the first time, those little things start to add up. One loose handle turns into, how well was this home really maintained? A sticky door becomes, what else isn't working behind the scenes? It might not be true, but it's how buyers think. That's why a little TLC before you list can go a long way. Take a weekend, knock out that to-do list, and get ahead of the red flags. Because when buyers see a home that feels cared for, they're a lot more confident moving forward. Converting your garage into a man cave, home gym, or extra living space might seem like a smart upgrade, especially if you're not using it for parking anyway. I've seen sellers turn upgrades into everything from home offices to playrooms. And while it might work great for your lifestyle, most buyers, they're looking for something else entirely. And when it comes time to sell, that missing garage space can be a deal breaker. Buyers want storage. They want a place to park. And when it's gone, they start mentally adding up the cost and the hassle of changing it back. So if you're thinking about a garage conversion, go for it, but only if it's easy to undo. Because for most buyers, a good functional garage is still at the top of their wish list. So what did you think? Did any of these surprise you? Let me know in the comments. And before I let you go, here's one last piece of advice. No matter how much you upgrade, if you overprice your home, it will sit. Even the most beautiful home won't sell if it's priced too high for the market. So price it right and save yourself a whole lot of stress and time. If you're thinking about selling and you're unsure which upgrades are actually worth it, drop your biggest renovation questions in the comments. I'd love to help however I can. And if this was helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more tips like this. And if you're thinking, okay, Kristi, so what do buyers actually want? I've got you covered. Click here for the next video on what buyers actually want in 2025. You don't want to miss it.